Here we have verse 19 of the 4th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus, of course, in the midst of this conversation with the woman at the well, he has just asked her to go and get her husband. And of course, she has responded she doesn't have a husband. Jesus rather exposes the circumstances of her life because he points out she's had 5 husbands, in fact. And the one that she's now living with is not her husband at all. It's simply a live-in situation, of course not permitted in Jewish society nor in any polite society. And so Jesus now is pointing that out to her, and it really is coming as a bit of a prerequisite to his offer that was made earlier that he would give her living water. But of course, we understand that from the New Testament point of view, receipt of that living water requires a prior state of repentance, turning away from things that are evil in our lives in order that we may turn toward this, which is the great offer that God has made. Well, the woman may be deflecting a little bit of her exposure here, hard to say, but she responds to this comment by Jesus saying lego. This is the third person singular, present active indicative of lego. I say lege, third person singular here. Lege auto, she says to him, the pronoun dative singular masculine, he gune. So the woman says to him, Kyrie, again sir, title of respect. Theoro, this is from theoreo, it's the first person singular, present active indicative of the contract verb theoreo. This is actually the same word, same part of speech. It simply has the contraction here so that the epsilon is now absorbed into the omega and it's pronounced theoro. It means to see something. It's the word from which we get the word theory, which means to behold something, especially with your mind's eye. And that, of course, is exactly what's happening here. She's beholding something. She's seeing something. Not simply physically, but beholding it as in her mind, an idea. And she's seeing now from this interaction with Jesus, hoti prophetes, that prophet, a su. This is the second person singular of the verb of being. You are, and then su, the pronouns, second person singular. So I perceive that a prophet you are. Notably, she doesn't say you are the prophet. There was in Samaria an acceptance of the first 5 books of Moses in the Old Testament, in which Moses had predicted the coming of the prophet, a prophet who would come at some time in the future. And of course, there was an expectation not only among Jewish people, but also among Samaritans, that eventually such an one would come. She hasn't quite elevated her perception of Jesus to the point that she sees him as the prophet, but she certainly is beginning to sense that he may be a prophet. And with that in mind, she's going to ask him what had been a burning question in Samaritan circles for some time, possibly to divert the uncomfortable conversation to something a bit more easy to access, a little bit less troubling to her, but maybe she's really curious. Maybe she really does want an answer to this question that comes up in the next verse. So we'll have to wait and see how the conversation unfolds from here.